next one is say you're sorry more than you need to.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
And if each of you are trying to outdo one another in saying you're sorry, things tend to come out much, much better than they would otherwise, especially if there's a legitimate tiff or a legitimate argument/disagreement.
Absolutely. I would say one of the things when Brian and I were going through this a couple weeks ago, which we have not done, this thing that I'm going to tell you about, we haven't done in years probably.
Okay, I'm not sure what you're going to tell them about.
Okay, but we assigned a percentage of blame or percentage of wrongdoing and to the situation.
And I think this is a perfect time for that disclaimer that we put on maybe at the last episode where this works for us.
May not work for you.
But we'll share it anyway. I know where you're going.
Thank you.
Good.
So when we were, throughout our marriage, and this has been a little bit ago, we would say, okay, I'm sorry. However, I'll take 40% of the blame, but 60% was on you. Or, okay, this was 100% my fault. And, 0 is your fault or, whatever. And so this, after talking through this a couple weeks ago, what happened? What did we do?
Well, this one was on me a little bit. So it was our day to sleep in. I think it was a Saturday. Yeah. And Jennifer had ordered groceries online. And the guy had brought the groceries. I think it was like whatever time it was, 8:15 or something. And it was our day to sleep in. We were both sleeping. And the guy rang the doorbell, which was fine, but he had questions and some explanations around some of the items that Jennifer had ordered online the day before. And so she didn't move. She just laid there.
Honey, I was asleep.
Well, we were both asleep. Right. And so I got up and I went and dealt with the guy, and I talked to him, and I answered his questions, and I listened to his concerns, and he was just trying to do his job.
He was, but it's supposed to be contactless delivery.
Right, so he was supposed to just drop it and go, but he had called and texted you.
And my phone was on night mode, silent, no ringer, nothing.
So I was aggravated because he had called and texted you, Jennifer, to clarify some things so that he could have gotten the right items while he was there, and you didn't answer your phone, and therefore he had to ring the doorbell. So then I was aggravated, and I snapped at her when I got back from dealing with him at the door, and I'm like, why am I dealing with your grocery order that you placed yesterday?
And this was supposed to make our lives easier, and instead of being easier, it's making things harder. And
well, yeah, because then all of a sudden we got to answer the door, and we've got to answer his questions. But if you would have just picked up your text message or your phone,
this kind of went on for a few hours.
Well, okay, that's an exaggeration.
That is an exaggeration. That is my bad.
Okay. It went on for a little bit. And so what we discovered was, first of all, we just had to let it die. Mm-hmm. Because that was not a hill to die on. And so we went on with our day. And at the end of the day, it was more me than her because of the way I responded. I responded poorly. I was a little tired. I was a little grumpy. I had to get up on my day to sleep in and deal with a guy that I felt like, in my mind, I shouldn't have had to do, because if she would have picked up her texts or answered her phone, then I wouldn't have had to deal with the grocery guy.
So we ended up on 60-40, didn't we?
I think we landed on that.
60-40.
I think I was even willing to go 70-30, like 70% my fault, 30%. But we talked about it.
We talked about it, and we laughed about it,
We laughed about it. Yeah, like that was the end of the day. And if you recall, I started the conversation. I said, I'm sorry about this morning.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, I accept your apology. And it was probably 70-30. And I was like, wow, okay, that's an aggressive percentage.
And then we got to talking about it.
And then I was like, you know what? It was probably 70% my fault. Now, that's not necessarily a model that works for everybody. But for us, because we can sort of banter back and forth, it has worked for us.
Yes.